Right guys, welcome back. We're on episode 3 now, and I'm joined today with Tabib.
What's up?
Yeah, so Danny's a local bodybuilder and recently just turned pro. He won the overall in classic physique at the North Americas, which is insane. So yeah, I just want to delve into that a little bit today and find out about your background and how the prep went and how the show went, and then like what your future plans are, bro.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, sick. So straight off the bat, how did you get into bodybuilding? How did it come about?
I would say it started kind of like end of high school.
Yeah.
I started like getting in the gym and stuff. I segued like from being like a hooligan as like a kid and shit. Like, so I want to like start getting my life straight. So I started in the gym and then I went to the military. And while I was in the Marine Corps, like I started really getting into like the gym and shit, started like really enjoying it. And I always just enjoyed just pushing myself, man. Just like getting fucking like gritty in the training. And, like, you know, in the gym, everybody would like peep game. Cause I would just do like stupid shit. I'd do like 25 fucking like reps and then do a drop set, you know what I mean? And then people would walk over eventually and be like, dude, yo, you should fucking compete. Like you got like a sick build. And like, I always wanted to, but dude, when you're in the military, you don't have like that freedom, like to be able to just like do a prep, you know what I mean? So, you know, you have like time constraints, you're in the field, you know, for whatever you're doing.
How long were you in there, bro?
4 years.
4 years,
yeah. 4 years in the Marines.
Sweet.
So, but I always knew I wanted to do it. So like the end of my like enlistment, you get like, you could save up your leave and stuff. So like I calculated like the leave and like show dates like after I would get out. So like as soon as I got out, I did like my first actual cycle. Yeah. And then I was like history, bro. Fucking fell in love with it.
Amazing. Amazing. And what was the first show you did? You did like a local show, did you?
I actually did the Mel Chansey. It was in Fort Lauderdale. Tampa. So I was it was in Fort Lauderdale, and then I did that. I didn't have a coach or anything. Like I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And then the last like 4 weeks, like I hit up my like some guy I used to know when I was stationed in Hawaii. Yeah. And he was like pretty like knowledgeable, and I just hit him up for like the last 4 weeks, and he helped me kind of just like deplete a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
But I wasn't like ready in any way. You know what I mean? Like I did like some bullshit cycle that like I looked up online, like some gym bro science shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. That I would like never recommend somebody to do.
Sure. I don't think anyone's ready for the first show, though. There's no such thing, is there? You just gotta...
I don't think anybody's ready for it, but like I feel like you could prepare for it better. Like if you get a coach, like a proper coach, and like they lead you through it and guide it, because like, dude, you could like fuck yourself up with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
So, but yeah, no, I did the Mel Chansey. That was in like 2019, and then I placed second in classic physique. I just went to like the open class, and then I placed second. I realized like, fuck, I need bigger wheels. Like I gotta train the legs and shit. So I went into like a little hole, and then
perfect, bro. Perfect. What was your first cycle?
My first cycle, so the first thing I ever did was test for like 2 months when I got out of the Marine Corps, just to see like how I reacted. Yeah. So I did test, and then after that I did D-ball, and then I did Anavar, Winstrol, and test pro at the end for the cut. And then I took like some bullshit like like diuretic or whatever. Okay. Like, took like some bullshit diuretic for the last like 3 weeks or whatever. And
was it like aldosterone or something?
I don't even remember, bro. I got it like Supplement Warehouse.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what it was, but it was like some diuretic to like try to get the water off. Yeah. Like, that's like what the guy like told me when I hit him up. Yeah. So,
I did something similar with my first ever show, and it was now when I look back on it, it was like the worst thing I could have done. And like how I ran it as well. I was like cramping up like crazy on stage.
How long was your cycle when you were in it?
First cycle I ever did was just T-ball by itself.
Was it?
For like 3
I've
or
seen
4.
that.
Yeah.
How was that?
Actually, like it was. I put on like 20 pounds, like
fucking
that.
Crazy. Yeah,
like a lot of it was water weight.
That's how it was with the D-ball.
Yeah. But I mean, strength went through the roof.
Freak.
Yeah, it's just one of those. I remember going into the gym and like picking up, I can't remember what they were, like 30 pounds. And like shoulder press, I can't remember what it was, but I had not been able to get past that weight forever. Yeah. And then like went in, and just my grip strength straight away, I was like, this isn't.
No, you feel that fucking weight, bro.
Yeah. And then I made loads of gains in like just a month, and then those people were like, dude, what happened, you know? And I was like, oh, just creatine, bro, you know? Yeah. And then similar to after that, they were better cycles. It was like test and Deca and things like that. But that's funny. I love hearing about people's like
their first
their first experience with it and stuff, you know.
I mean, anytime like with my boys, like, cause they've asked me like over the years, like, I'm like, they're curious and shit, and like I always tell them now, like, people that I'm close with that want to get like, information on it, I always tell them like, yo, you have like a very good like source, because when I first started, like, it was so like dead. Like nowadays you could just Google shit.
100%.
Like, you go on YouTube nowadays, everybody's talking about it, and like a lot of it's bullshit. So like, you know, I mean, you could get fucked up with what you take. But 100%. I mean, like,
it's funny because we were talking about this last week about there's so much information out there, but so much of it's wrong, you know, and it was easier in a way, kind of back in the day, not having that as much information. You know, like at least you could get
it's not as jammed down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember just literally going to the biggest guy in the gym, but he actually competed. He was like Mr. Britain, and he competed in like the universe and stuff, and he helped like guide me a little bit. But,
so you started bodybuilding UK. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How different is it, like US, like?
Totally different, really. Back then it was
because I feel like the only like information that like I personally have from like UK is like Dorian, you know what I mean, that like goes in depth with like his story and shit, is like Dorian, maybe like, I don't know, there's not many others from the UK that I can think of on the top of my head.
There's the bodybuilding scene in the UK is just like when I started lifting weights was probably around like 2000s, or bodybuilding was like 2003, but I was a young kid, so I fucked around for a number of years and didn't make that much progress. Well, our first show was 2010, and you know, just put my head down for like 2 years before that show. But the bodybuilding scene then, it was like really small and like really sort of like hardcore, like underground.
I get you.
And the only guys that were like competing were like just monsters, you know, and just like real hardcore. And there's in the UK, I know it's changed.
Was men's physique around back then?
No,
it was just
nothing.
212 and open, right?
So in the UK, you had two federations. You had UK BFF, was like kind of like the NPC is here, but no one really competed in it. It was just really small. So you had NABA, which was the original one that like Arnold competed in back in the day, and that was just like hardcore bodybuilding. I went to a show in Southport in like 2009, and the guys were just like so shredded and like nasty looking. I was like, holy shit. Like I'd never seen anything like it. And I was like, I want to do that, you know, just one time, just to tick it off, say I've done it. And I think what it is the UK it's so cold year round. You know, we have a summer, but it's not that great, you know. So
that people, real dungeon shit.
So, and there's no, like I said, now that there's loads of commercial gyms like there is here, but you know, back then there really wasn't. There was like, they were all standalone, just, you know, ran by themselves, like hardcore bodybuilding gyms. So but they were amazing to train in.
Those are the best ones though, bro.
They are, dude. Honestly, they are.
I mean, that's why I train at university, bro. Because that's the environment, man. Like retro, like I would say when retro was club fit, like it kind of had that environment.
Had that hardcore feel.
Retro is definitely like way more mainstream now. Which, I mean, it's not bad. It's still a good gym. But in terms of like gritty bodybuilding gyms down here, bro, like that's why I love university, 100%. Man. That's my home, bro.
And I've noticed it's changed my training. So since I moved here, now I'm used to like, you know, I've got lazy. So rather than the gym I used to train at, it didn't have like rear delt machine. It didn't have stuff like that.
Free weights,
so it was just like, it was like setting things up and doing it, you know, on the bench. Doing like the horrible movements that you don't want to do, because that's all I had to do. And then now I've moved here, it's different, man, because like you start, you know, spoiled for choice sometimes, you know, and then that sort of creeps into your training.
Not for sure, you get complacent.
Rather than just focusing on the raw basics and stuff, you know. But I mean, back then there was absolutely nothing. There was no men's physique, there was no classic. It was just bodybuilding. So I went into.
It's crazy how it's evolved, bro.
Right.
Especially in the past, like I would say,
10,
decade.
15 years.
The past decade, it just like turned. Like, and I think it's just so they could mainstream it. And
I agree.
I understand, but it's like. It's getting crazy with the social media shit.
It is, man. It's
because the sport now is more so like. In terms of bodybuilding, the reward is so little compared to what it used to be. Like they used to actually give more sponsorships to like the athletes. Now it's like. Influencers,
dude,
it's crazy.
In the 90s and up until like probably like 2010, if you could make so much money in bodybuilding if you were good at it.
Yeah.
And but now, you know, with social media, it's just everything's watered down.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
for sure, bro.
So you can get a guy that's like not that good of a bodybuilder, but he might look good on screen. And then he can, you know,
he got somebody editing his videos.
Yeah,
and
exactly. He can gain a following of just like, you know.
So it's mass, bro. He gives him a mass fucking following. And so I mean, that's, in terms it's good for bodybuilding, but like, bro, it's also like
it's good and
it's spreading the sport is a good thing. So like, I would say the NPC is making a fuck ton of money. You know what I mean? Like NPC, IFBB, and like 100%. That's good for the sport. So it could like kind of like expand out and like new athletes come up and stuff, get recognition. But Don, you're right. The social media has like watered it down like crazy, man. For sure.
Before you get like sponsored by a magazine and make mad money and
know,
whereas now
that was the only way to get it out, though. You know what I mean? Before like social media was like pumping shit out.
Yeah,
like, now it's like it's more so like all Instagram, TikTok, all on YouTube.
And now like you'll get like really good bodybuilders that are just sent like promo codes and they'll get discounts of supplements. And, like, that's about as good as it gets. You know, like there's no real hardcore like cash in it.
Nah,
you know.
I mean, if you're making money, like, dude, if you have like a following, like. And I like obviously C-Bum is like the epitome of like he's like the epitome of like how to brand yourself. But I would say Terrence Ruffin did a decent job. Like you know, Urs, Dino, like they all do a pretty good job. Like Derek Lunsford, like current bodybuilders, Nick Walker, like Samson now is in the scene. Like he's looking fucking sick. There's that new guy or whatever. So I mean, like if you could brand yourself well, if you could brand yourself well, like it could work for you, but in terms of the come up for a bodybuilder is way harder. It's way harder if you don't have like a mass following on social media, man. And that's kind of why like I told you, I never really like envisioned myself bodybuilding because I never like saw like it was more so for myself, and it still is. You know what I mean? Like when bodybuilding isn't for myself, that's when I'm done with it. You know, and like at the point, it is a side quest. You know what I mean? Like bodybuilding isn't like a life goal for me.
No,
you know
not
I mean?
at all.
I don't necessarily think it should be for everybody, but like everybody has their own fucking life.
No, I agree. But that was always my outlook too. I like it's not loser mentality, but I knew I was never gonna make. I didn't think I was gonna turn pro. There was a time where I thought I might, but then even if I did, like, where would I have gone with it? You know, I'm not like you have a different path for sure. So for me, I always knew just have fun with it. Take like, you know, to every show I do, just be better than I was before. But like these guys that used to get like mad upset at shows, you know, because they didn't place where they expected to, and things like that. I was always like, dude, you know, like.
But I mean, also like, without being a dick, it's like, look at yourself, bro. You know what I mean? Like if there is robberies, I ain't gonna lie. Like, robberies out there,
sure,
100%. Like there are politics involved, but like in terms of like people just throwing fits and like, bro, you didn't look that fucking good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you had so much more. You had like 5 weeks left in you of prep, you know? Like, a lot of people are premature and like, I mean, that's a big hindrance too, is like improper coaching and like not knowing what the fuck you're doing. Like,
absolutely.
That's why it took me so long to find a coach like Ish, bro.
He's a good guy, man.
Bro, once I linked up with Ish, it was like symbiotic, bro. Like the way we function and shit. Like, cause I'm very like aggressive in nature with like how I attack shit, you know, and like when it's like relaxed, it's like I step back completely, you know.
No, that's great, man. Yeah, he's a good guy, man. I met him when I first moved to the States. I actually walked past him. I was getting ready for a show.
Retro?
Yeah, no, like Hollywood LA Fitness.
Okay.
And I was doing Southern States at the time, and I was walking to the change rooms. He walked past me and he was like, "Hey, bro," he's just like, "Let's train together." He's like, "You know, most guys can't hang with me," and shit like that. And it was funny.
That's how the gym bros just align. They peep game with the motherfuckers. That's awesome, bro.
That was when I was on my way out. That was kind of like my last show or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did he try to get you to do a show? Like, was he coaching back then?
No,
he was competing.
He was competing a lot. Yeah, it was just before he started coaching.
That was Classic was around back then, right?
So when
it just started,
bro.
Had the long shorts and shit.
Yeah, like the boxer shorts. Yeah. The first, because the first show I did in the States was 2014 or 15, I can't remember, bro. Right. But it was the first ever Miami Muscle Beach that they did.
Okay.
And went down there, and it was, again, it was just bodybuilding.
Was that a pro show back then?
It was a pro show. Ryan Terry was actually competing in men's physique at the same time. And
congrats to him, bro.
I know, man.
Sick, man.
Finally,
I've been waiting for that
I've been
motherfucker to
waiting
win
for
that
like
shit
10
so
years,
long, bro.
Yeah.
You could see like after he won it, the amount of like his like following, like reacting to it. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like people have been peeping that for
Dude,
so long.
he
like,
it's so well deserved, and like especially the improvements he made in the last like 2 years, like brought his
honestly,
arms
bro,
up and shoulders.
his arms and shoulders for sure. But
Yeah.
really, bro, I would say in the terms of consistency, like I don't know why they didn't give it to him sooner.
Oh, I
'Cause
agree.
he looked so. Bro,
Yeah.
he looked sick when he was competing with Buendia, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like he was still top 3, top 4. Like,
yeah, always.
man.
Yeah,
You know?
I preferred his look, man. I really did.
Always.
He
For
just-
men's physique, that's
Yeah,
I feel
that-
like he is the embodiment of it.
He
you know?
is.
So-
I honestly, personally, gonna get flack for this, but like most of the men's physique guys now are just way too big, man.
yeah.
Like
You
they're
think
not-
so?
I mean, some of them.
I would say
upper
I would
body
say
wise-
Brandon in terms of his like just how dense the motherfucker is, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he is a little. I would agree with you in terms of that because I feel like they put that weight cap out.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like Brandon was the one that kind of like pushed it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that he
yeah.
pushed the limits. So,
Yeah.
but. Nah, I do agree with that. A lot of them are too big. But I liked, to be honest with you, I was surprised that they didn't give it back to, what's his name? Aaron Banks.
Oh yeah.
I was
yeah,
surprised they didn't give it back to him because I thought he
Yeah.
looked sick, bro.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
always
looked
looks good,
sick,
bro.
so-
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a super competitor. You know, I genuinely today feel like the best classes are men's physique and classic.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just feel like
Nah, dude, I think the Open is making a comeback.
it's making a
I think it's
comeback,
making
but
a
for
comeback.
years it's been dead.
Ever since Phil.
You know?
Ever since, like, Phil.
Since Phil
I would
left.
honestly say when, what's his name? When Flex passed away. That's when it was like,
Which one?
I'm sorry, not
Flex.
Flex.
I was gonna say.
Sean Roden. When Sean
Yeah.
Sean Roden passed away,
Yeah.
that was when like the Open like kind of
Yeah,
like
it felt
faded. A
faded.
little bit,
Yeah, big time. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's. I guess so. You're right, man. I like that we've got personalities now back in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for a few years it was kind of like dead.
100%. I mean,
You know,
you have like
but,
Nick, Samson,
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Derek, Hottie. Dude,
Yeah.
you see, how did you think about Hottie when he walked off, honestly?
Oh,
Like,
his-
without like gossiping, you know what I mean? Because like, I
mean-
thought it was kind of funny. Like,
Oh, I thought
like,
it was funny.
I thought it was funny as
I
fuck
always
because I
think
know they
that-
trained together and like
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be competitive. Like I
Yeah.
don't think Derek took it in any way. Everybody was like freaking out over it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, who gives a fuck? man?
That's exactly what I thought too. Like, who gives a fuck? Like it.
It's not like he threw his shit and was
no.
being an asshole.
He was
He
just like,
congratulated
oh.
him, was like, fuck you.
I've
Like,
been
I'm
there
coming
where
back
you
for my
like
shit.
feel super bummed, man. And
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
like just want to get out of there.
Yeah.
You know, go have your meal and get home.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
100%.
so